I'm ready.
I'd be most professional.
Okay, I'm turning the music on and we'll get started.
Okay.
Don't you love it? It really is. I mean, it really is like my favorite part of the whole podcast. Oh, okay. Jenny and Adam Kovacs, welcome. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Let me tell you, you're like a slippery fish, Jenny. I've tried to get you on this podcast for how long now?
A long time. Probably, what, a year?
At least.
Something like that.
I mean, you guys are blowing up the world, or at least the North Bay, with all your businesses. So I'm like, oh, I guess I'm just a small fish anymore. So.
Oh my gosh. No, I just have major stage fright when it comes to these things, but I've gotten used to it. I did. Now I'm getting used to it. I'm an old pro.
So you guys are the owners and operators and founders of Sonoma Fit, right? Mm-hmm. And how many locations do you have?
We have now? Three locations. So Sonoma, Petaluma, and now Novato, which was open for a whole 18 days before we got shut down. Yes, it was the saddest thing ever. We spent 2 years building it. And then 18 days in, we were shut down.
How many days did you cry into your pillow?
I mean, there were a few days. I think we were just in a daze the first week, but it was heart-wrenching because you spend all this time and energy and money building something and you see the finish line, right? We were going to Mexico. We're a week after opening, we're like, this is our reward. We have this whole plan. And then we're shut down and we essentially had to rebuild our entire business, change our business model, do everything right when you're just at the end of already 2 years of work.
You're finally ready to.
And we're just exhausted and now.
And I would argue to say that, at least for me, and I think I liken myself to you guys in the sense that you are not just building gyms, you're building communities. And you've got a really it seems from afar, you have a really connected community within your location. So it's been harder for us and maybe for you as well to try and keep everybody connected and engaged. And it's not only just because you want to make sure that they're there at the end of this and they come back into the doors, but it's like you're the mom, you're the father, you're the dad. You're like, we want to make sure everybody's okay. And so you're doing all of the freaking things calling people. And I saw that you guys were loaning equipment and you're doing the online, the YouTube channel. Now you've got your own freaking TV channel. I watch you guys. I have to stop watching you because I get tired watching it, all of the things that you're doing. And I feel a little bit like an underachiever, but also I'm proud of you guys. You're at least from the outside, I know how hard it is, but at least from the outside, you guys look like you're nailing it.
Well, thank you.
So I hope that's the case, at least most of the time.
It is definitely a struggle every day.
Yeah.
But the struggle is behind the scenes.
Right.
It's everyone is in this storm, right? Mm-hmm. We're all struggling together, fighting together. Very few are completely unaffected by this. Most of us are affected.
Right.
And when you just go through all this and everyone else is too, I want to be the last one to talk about, my problems, my worries, my fears, my anger.
Right.
It has no place right now. So.
No, but also, do you ever think that maybe some people they don't want to watch you struggle, but they want to know that you're in the same, I don't know. This is a little bit, I was thinking about this the other day. I had this experience at Safeway, which just me showing up at Safeway is a challenge, even in the best of times. And I get that the people who have been in the service industry during this they're stressed and they're overworked and they're tired and they're doing their best. Right. Mm-hmm. And I had an incident with the cashier and honest to God, I just kept apologizing because I was like, I am so sorry. I ended up putting my food on the belt before she was ready for me to do it. And she freaked out and started yelling at me. And I asked if I could take it off. And I get it. I get she's stressed and that type of thing. But what I wanted to say is that we're all in the same boat. And even the people who are shopping at the grocery store, for example, are also confused and stressed. It's different at every store. Like, no, I didn't read the sign that was hidden way on the back of the belt that said, don't put your stuff there, right? But I apologized. And I guess my point is that sometimes I wish that everybody would see that everybody's in the same boat. It would just make me feel a little bit better being the person who's been trying to take care of everybody this whole time. Yeah. For somebody to look at me and go, oh, I see you. I see that it kind of sucks for you too.
So to the incident, was it more recent or was it?
It was last week.
Oh, last week.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I speak for myself, you know, at the very beginning when this shelter in place started, that's when everything turned like a little crazy. And I found very many people very, very much on edge. Mm-hmm. Lately, it seems like it's getting better, you know? So I just think, everyone knows or I assume everyone knows we're struggling. Well, we just built 3 gyms in 4 years and the gym is closed.
You must be so
and
tired.
They're talking about 50% of the restaurants and gyms gonna not reopen or go under within months, maybe years. They're not gonna really renew their leases. So I think people know I'm struggling, but they have their own struggles. Yeah. And I just think as long as we are all together, just civil, you know, now we know what we're dealing with, right?
Right. So sort of.
No,
right?
It's like let's stop being crazy. You know, there's this thing has done a lot of damage. Yeah. To businesses, to people, to families. You know, there's a lot going on, and so anyway, just getting back to what I was originally saying is, let's just be positive. Right. You know, there's no sense it makes no sense to just stare into the past. Can't change it. It's, you know, there will be a silver lining behind it all for very many. And hopefully things are just going to get better.
So it seems like you guys are a little bit on the front lines in terms of really trying to get proactive with the government and such, trying to, you know, fight on behalf of the gyms and that type of thing, because you guys are in this like later phase, right? Or you were. So how's that been for you guys? Like,
well, it's been a civics lesson for Adam because he's, you know, he comes from Germany. And so it's like unfamiliar territory. He's like, who do I need to call? Yeah. Where do I need to go? But he's been on the phone with district supervisors and with the health department and, you know, just our city government and our, you know, Chamber of Commerce. And we're talking to everyone just because we have to. I mean, we are definitely, the two of us, we're fighters. We don't allow things to happen to us. Like, we have to be proactive. We're just not made to be any other way. You see, and it's not a criticism against anyone else. It's just how we are. But, you know, you see a lot of people kind of just sitting back and accepting what's happening and just kind of waiting. And we're not that way. You know, I mean, this has been years of struggle and hardship and, I mean, great reward building this business. We've done a tremendous amount of work in the 6 years that we've been operating, but we're not about to just sit back and let somebody take that from us. Right. We just won't do it. We've sacrificed way too much, you know, time away from our families, money, I mean, everything. And, you know, we just, I mean, I say we, but really it's Adam. Like, he's definitely more of like the one who goes after it more than I do. But yeah, I mean, we just have to fight. And so you know, we're trying to get as much information as we can. It's been incredibly frustrating. Yeah. I think for a lot of people, but just for us in the fitness industry in particular, it's like, it's all a guessing game. We don't know, you know, and we've had to change everything about our gyms, you know, in terms of where equipment is, what kind of classes we're going to have, like everything. Yeah. And we're kind of like, you know, hey, does that sound like a good idea? Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I know it's a little bit like just throwing spaghetti at the wall right now, because not only do we as business owners not know what to do, nor does the public understand what's going on, but I would also say, like, the officials within the local governments and the state governments I mean, it's a guessing game for everybody. So everybody's kind of just like, well, fuck, well, I don't know what to do, but let's try this and let's try that. And then there's also going to be that next element of when you do open your doors, there's it's impossible to check off all the boxes of everything that could possibly happen or change, or the habits of people. Like, because for example, the habits for generally of the community that you had in your space pre-COVID. This has impacted everybody so much on an emotional level as well. Mm-hmm. We don't even know what people are going to be operating like when they come out of this, right? So people are suddenly going to, when you did something before and when they passed each other in the hallway, for example, and they used to smile at each other, now who knows what's going to happen. So
yeah,
you're going to be shifting, even after you open, to just try and figure it out.
And you can't please everyone.
Right. That's the hardest thing.
Some things that are very important to one person aren't to another. And, it's just going to be that way. And I'm sure we'll deal with God knows what on the other end of this. But, we just did a town hall last night. We were on Zoom. We did like a webinar on Zoom and we went live to Facebook. And, we just begged people to be patient. We're like, just be patient with us.
Yeah.
What's crazy to me is how little people are allowed. It's just, I don't know. We're trying, we're human. We're meant to be in a community. We're meant to be together. We've spent our lives behaving in a certain way. And then within 2 months, we are trying to unlearn all of this inherent behavior. And it's amazing to me how judgmental some people can be towards others. And it's alarming to me. I'm like, we've spent our lives being around family, being around friends, hugging, shaking hands, whatever it is. And to unlearn that in a matter of weeks, cut people some slack.
It's hard. I just told somebody this the other day. I have been going, luckily I live on the west side of Petaluma downtown, so I can walk out west and do a 5-mile loop up to Helm Putnam and not see many people at all. So I've been doing that through the whole COVID. Mm-hmm. And the phases that I've gone through of watching people's behaviors from when we first shut down, like I remember the first few days, first probably week or two, people would, they would keep their distance, but they would look at you with these bright, smiley eyes because they were like, oh my God, like another human and waving, right? And then as this has progressed, now it's gotten to however many weeks later, 10 or 12 weeks later, people are with their masks on and they'll walk by each other and they'll go even farther away. So now there's like a 12-foot gap and they turn their head the opposite way. So they don't even look at you. And it's like, there's some sort of like human behavior that has come out of like shame or something. And it's natural. I don't think they're deliberately like, I don't want to look at this person. But like you said, we've had a lifetime of hugging and shaking hands and, touching each other and that type of thing, which is very, very human. And now people are like, I don't know what to do with that. Like I can't make contact. And now me personally, that's just, I'm a hugger. Like I'm a people person. So I do find it instinctive almost to not look at people in the eye because I feel like I can't touch you. So I don't want to engage. It's very strange. And sadly, I think it's going to remain that way for a little while. I think eventually if we're given the opportunity, we'll go back to,
well,
that,
you're making like a lot of good points. What I see or what I'm trying to pay attention to is what, for the most part, for sure the news are not paying attention to. There's like all this talk about, COVID and here are the things that you should be doing. And, every week it's changing. Every time it's affecting businesses in a different way. And, you have like we're paying all the attention to COVID, but, a lot of things that we're not paying attention to, even though we're all watching the same news. The news is also talking about that, we're in the business of health. That's our business. And it is very, very sad to see that even though that we're watching the news, we're not paying enough attention because it is all about COVID. But COVID is also telling us very clearly, I'm going after obese people who are sick, who are definitely unhealthy. So there is this message of health. That's your shield. That's what you need. But, the news are so dramatic.
Yeah.
And of course they're they're just pumping out this fear. And this is what we're exposed to. This is what we're feeling when we're walking down our bike path.